The Metaverse, a series of emerging virtual and augmented reality technologies that will offer a more immersive experience than the current internet, may help universities solve some of these problems and revolutionize the experience of remote learning. Will the Metaverse bring better news for higher education? Potentially. But to build flourishing universities in the Metaverse, computer engineers, higher education leaders and policymakers will have to solve some difficult problems. Here are 5 challenges that we view as the most urgent to address. 1. Academic freedom. Academic freedom, the ability of faculty and students to discuss and study any topic they deem important, is not assured on privately held platforms. If university teaching and intellectual exchanges are going to happen on platforms owned by corporations, what happens when these discussions become controversial? Would platforms like Meta and Zoom be committed to unfettered free exchange, even when the publicity can hurt their stock price? The recent historical track record is not encouraging. Universities cannot give social media companies veto power over what subjects students and faculty can discuss. That would kill academic freedom. If we are going to have higher education on the Metaverse, this problem has to be solved. 2. Focus. Successful learning requires the ability to pay attention to what is going on in class. A good university seminar needs to shut out the world for an hour or two. It's hard enough to achieve this level of focus with students in the real world, tempted as they are by their phones and laptops. How does one create a fully virtual learning environment conducive to concentration? Facebook's promotional videos for the Metaverse, filled with psychedelic tigers and dancing parrots, heighten this concern. How, then, can designers make sure that the Metaverse will not worsen the already serious challenges to classroom focus? There are times when, no matter how amazing an instructor may be, technological devices and what they offer are simply too tempting for students, even during class. 3. Communication. A great deal of human communication happens non-verbally. Facial expressions and body language reveal many of our intentions. Can avatars, cartoon representations of ourselves, convey facial expressions and body language in the same way? This is important because much of the learning in university classes, particularly in discussion-heavy classes typical of humanities courses, depends on lively, spontaneous communication. That spontaneous communication often involves the ability to transmit and receive nonverbal signals. Engineers have only started thinking about these problems. They will need to make a great deal of progress before nonverbal virtual communications mature. 4. A sense of community. Much of what students like about college, and a great deal of what they learn, happens outside the classroom. The best university experience fosters a sense of community, students getting together informally, becoming friends, developing views about each other, themselves and the political institutions that govern their lives. 5. Digital divides. Finally, policymakers and educators need to ask themselves whether higher education in the Metaverse will really make universities more accessible. Will these technologies offer a compelling educational experience for a lower cost? Or will they just usher in a new digital divide, a two-tiered system consisting of elites who can pay for brick-and-mortar schooling and those who must make do with the virtual counterpart? Or, to complicate things, what if so-called Metaversities become part of a 3-tiered system, with traditional schools for the rich, Metaverse virtual reality education for the middle classes, and the two-dimensional remote learning, like that being used now, for those who can't afford anything else? In spite of the challenges they face, universities remain crucial social institutions, for the generation of knowledge, for the personal development of those who attend and for hosting difficult conversations. The Metaverse, if it gets off the ground, and if these very real problems can be addressed, may well offer universities a new way to survive.